Hey, thank you for listening to this Summit Story. I'm Josh. This is Ben, our co-host. Today we'll be interviewing Jesse Cummins.
Cummings. It's Cummins.
Fuck.
There's no G.
That's okay. We'll keep it rolling. There is no G. It took me a while to do that. Cummins like the diesel.
Jesse Cummins.
Yeah.
Yes,
diesel,
sir.
Diesel engines. That was actually my nickname in BMX, was the diesel.
We'll get into BMX. I got some questions about that. Jesse, you are 28, correct?
Yeah.
You are the project manager for the lawn care business. You pretty much run the show. We don't have to do much there. I'm kind of curious about your background growing up, your childhood, and kind of what led you into wanting to be self-employed.
All right. Well, I have a small family. I have 2 sisters, and then my mom and my dad. We kind of grew up in a broken home. Wasn't really a safe space there, you know. Mom was an addict and my dad's an alcoholic, so they constantly liked to fight, and that wasn't really the greatest environment growing up. So I spent most of my days outside. I was constantly doing something outside. Also, really gave me my love for like video games and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So like it was like that moment in which I could just check out and like hide in my room. Growing up was pretty easy. I loved action sports. I tried to do team sports, but I never was really big enough for that. You know, I liked baseball and football, but none of them really stuck. So I kind of stuck with like skateboarding, BMX, video games, you name it, and then I found marijuana.
It's funny you say it wasn't very big, because the reality is you were sponsored by Rockstar and they sent you energy drinks.
What?
I knew he was going to bring that up.
He's got like Rockstar merchandise and helmets, and
I got a couple free helmets out of the deal. My dad knew the rep, so it wasn't like a huge thing like Ben's likes to make it out with.
I think it's pretty cool.
I won 3 state races, so I was state championship for 12, 13, and 14-year-old experts. That was a fun time. Yeah.
He has a full carbon fiber like BMX bike. It's pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a dialed-in race bike, but yeah, and so like I always loved action sports and stuff like that. And then as I started to get employed, I tried a bunch of different jobs, and I'm kind of a jack of all trades, master of none. I can cook, I can answer the phone, I'm good with customer service and all those things. So it all kind of translates into being a leader in a business. Definitely with like stumbling over my words a lot.
Oh, you're good, man. Take your time.
Definitely with like answering the phone all the time, because the number one thing I know with like customers is if you don't answer your phone, they're going to be pissed.
A lot of the work we get is because people are like, you're the only contractors that will return our calls. You know, It's a big deal. Communication's huge.
When you're mowing lawns and stuff, and like nobody's going to give you some flack about one line being crooked on a lawn, or if you miss an edge, or, oh, hey, there's a weed in that bed over there. I mean, obviously customers don't like weeds, but if you don't answer the phone when they call, you're screwed. Like most of the time when we lost a client for like the previous companies I worked for is because, oh, I haven't been able to get a hold of your boss this entire time, and I've had a couple concerns about the service, but yeah, I still can't get him on the phone, so it's even more frustrating. You guys are dropped.
So what kind of started you on the lawn care path, and what made you decide to stay in it?
Shout out to my boy Hunter. He gave me a call one day while I was tired of working in the kitchen, and he was like, "Hey, I heard you're looking for a job. I know you're killing it over where you're at, and you're doing a pretty good job in a manager position over there. Why don't you come over here and do some lawn care, see if you can keep up with the guys?" And I could not.
Really?
You know, I was overweight, slow, not used to the fast-paced environment, and not used to 100-degree 12-hour days for sure. It took me a good solid like year and a half before I was keeping up with the rest of the crew, and just paying attention to them and learning from them. It was like the motto at that company was "Don't be a bitch." You know, like anytime you had a concern, like, "Oh, it's 105 degrees. I've been working 10-hour days. Can we get like some Otter Pops or something for the truck?" No, don't be a bitch. You know?
That's kind of awful. I'm not gonna lie. I would never work for somebody like that. That's crazy. Hey, man, I think I have heat stroke. Yeah, don't be a loser, bro. Come on, get back to work. Like, dang, dude.
It turned boys into men, but it also
Throw 'em in the
taught
fire,
me
I guess.
how I
Builds character,
didn't
yeah.
want to
Builds character.
treat my guys, but I also find myself kind of falling back in those old bad habits. Because, like, when I get a new employee, I'm like, I can't just slave drive this guy until he quits. I mean, but honestly, that's what made me to be a good landscaper.
It's effective.
It
can
is
be
effective,
I should say.
And then after working for who I was working for before for so long, I started picking up on stuff like, okay, so you're making $250 off of a regular client and I'm making $19 an hour. What is going on with that? I'm making more money on the weekends doing cleanups than I am my entire week on the payroll.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, I messed around with it, and I just wanted to see how much it would cost to get my business license for Grass Bandits. And then I got a call from Zen Business, and they were like, hey, are you ready to move forward with starting your business? And my wife was in the car, and she's just like, you're starting your own business? I was like, I guess. And I pulled out my credit card and got my LLC and then worked on the other licensing and insurance and stuff. And it all happened super quickly. So I wasn't necessarily prepared for it by any means. I probably could have done a lot of things better working with Grass Bandits, but it is what it is, you know?
Owning Grass Bandits.
Yes.
Yeah, just so we don't get that confused with companies you used to work for. You owned Grass Bandits. That was your own business.
Yeah.
Yeah. What was that like, getting the first check, getting paid on the first job, and be like, wow, I own my own business?
Intimidating at first. I was like, oh no, I just spent like $150 on gas and dump fees, and this check's like $300, and now I gotta put away 15% of this for taxes, and
then you've
I'm
made
looking
$80.
yeah, I'm looking at $80 at the end of the job. I'm like, I really need to work on my bidding abilities, and now I can shout out numbers after looking at an account for like a minute and a half.
Yep.
So it all comes with experience, is being able to tell how long guys are going to be spending on a project. Typically, I'm right on the money. There's been a few times I've been short, but it is what it is.
Yeah, I would say your bidding's pretty accurate, and going on different sales calls with you, you do a pretty good job. And I feel like your close rate is very high. It's very impressive. I feel like every time, like, you have the ability to, like, be in person with the client and usually get the sale every time.
Yeah, I've always been pretty good at talking to people, and I'm definitely better with the 65-plus crowd. Like, a 65-year-old women, they love me. I don't know why, but they do. I guess I'm just good at talking to them. It's a yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir that's been
Treating them with respect.
just beat into me from when I was a young kid.
So I got a question. What do you think the relationship is between lawn care and not paying employees very well? Because I feel like that's a lot of lawn care companies. Like, it gets capped out at like $22 an hour for a recruit lead.
That's a tough question. I would love to pay every single one of my guys like $25 an hour in an ideal world. The problem is that between gas and fertilization prices, and landscaping and lawn care is pretty much the last like business where people don't understand why the prices are rising while everything else in the world is raising in prices. It's also the first, like, any type of construction or any manual labor that I've had people try to haggle with me more on price.
Yeah.
And a lot of that stems from the fact that, like, a 16-year-old kid can grab a push mower and start mowing lawns. And it's very low barrier to get into. And I think that's why people don't pay their employees as much, is because, like, everybody can do it, yes, but there is specialty knowledge in doing it correctly, which is why with low barrier to get into the business doing lawn care, and that's why there's so many companies that just turn and burn themselves like that.
Yeah.
And
It's a lot easier for some companies. It's a lot easier to find someone, their 18-year-old that wants a job, than it is to actually pay somebody well.
Yeah, and a lot of it's just like anybody can learn how to do it, and it's not hard technically, But over time, a lot of companies, they just don't want to pay that guy what he's worth. So they'll end up letting him go and he'll start his own business. So that's even more saturation in the field.
Mm-hmm.
And then they'll just hire on the next 17-year-old kid that's like, oh, cool, $15 an hour. I could do this all day, right?
Yeah. Well, we talk about that a lot, how like the good employees are always the ones that leave and start their own business.
Yeah.
You know, it's unfortunate.
And that's why I love working for Summit. And because I know that whereas you are my boss per se, and we were just talking about this the other day sitting in the office, was like, you are my boss, but I don't look at it like that because there's like such a negative connotation to the word boss. Like everybody's like, oh, a boss or slave driver or massa or, you know. And that's one of Austin's favorite words when he picks up the phone. Yes, master. And I'm like, no. I'm like, that's not the case. I'm like, I try to be as friendly as possible.
Wait, you said Nate answers a phone like that?
No, Austin.
Oh, Austin Kimchi. Yeah.
You know, every single time I call him, it's like, yes, master. I'm like, do I really push you guys that hard? I'm pretty sure you guys work like asking me for more hours. You know, I'm
It's
not
true,
like,
they do. They're hungry.
work this 12-hour day and screw your lunch. You know.
Yeah, we give lunches for any HR people watching. We offer free lunches. If they don't take their lunch, that is their problem. But we do offer. We actually have one of the only business, probably the only business I've ever met or worked for that is we offer paid 30-minute lunches. We don't make our guys clock out. So
Yeah, no, that was a first for me too.
Yeah.
You were like, if you need to take a lunch, take your lunch, and don't worry about it because we just pay you for your full hours worked. It was like working for my previous companies is like, it's your responsibility to take your lunch, but they're going to take it out of your check no matter what. Mm-hmm. So take the dang lunch.
Dude, like Josh and I talked about this, it makes no sense. You make them clock out for 30 minutes in the middle of the day so they can eat their lunch, so you can add on an extra 30 minutes at the end of the day that they're not even going to be productive in. You know what I mean? Why would I not just boost morale, pay them for the 30 minutes that's just going to be a pain anyway, so that productivity continues throughout the day? And then no one has to stay an extra 30 minutes late to make up the half-hour lunch. It just doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, because my shift was always 7 to 3:30 to get my minimum make. Yep. And it's like, am I really doing anything at the end of the day at 3:30?
Nobody's productive those last 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I might pick up a string trimmer and look at it, you know?
Yeah. Oh, boss is here. Everyone look busy.
Oh, I'm just backing in this truck. It's taking me 17 tries for some reason.
They're like, I've seen this guy back up a dump trailer across 4 streets. Why can't he just back up straight? He's just not trying. Man.
So I'm kind of curious, what happened with Grass Bandits? Why didn't that work out?
There's a lot of reasons why Grass Bandits didn't work for me as well as it could have. One of them was I was pretty hasty of getting out of my old position at work and rushing and this kind of figuring it out on my own, which isn't like a main reason by any means because there are so many people that rush into starting their own business that have like massive success stories. But I think for me, it was definitely my drinking problem, A. And for B, it was missed opportunities and being taken advantage of by other people around me. And I let it happen because I was too inebriated after work to even understand. Mm. So I feel like there was just a multimum of things in which I could have done better with that for sure. Mm. And I'm essentially killed half of those problems with not drinking.
Yeah.
And I'm 9 months and 2 days sober now, so
congrats, awesome. Man.
That's been awesome. Uphill battle all the way, but since I've started with Summit, it seems to be a lot easier because I have responsibilities and people there to hold me accountable, and that just makes it all the better.
That's awesome. It really is.
So one thing I had a question of is, when did you guys decide Summit? And why the name Summit?
I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get so made fun of for this. We were trying to think of a name for our construction company, and I'm pretty sure it's totally AI generated. I think my dad, like when ChatGPT was first a thing, and we never used it and never even heard of it. My dad's like, let's just put this in. We're a construction company in Grants Pass, Oregon. There's a Rogue River here. What can we put in here? There's mountains. And honestly, it was one of the generator names, and I was like, Summit Construction. I like that. So we are officially Summit Construction and Painting.
I
Just kinda
realized
stuck
that
since
like
then.
when I typed in Summit, there was a bunch of other businesses in Grants Pass, Oregon, named Summit, and I'm like, wow, Ben really has his name, his hands in everything. And then I'm like, no, he has nothing to do with Summit Asphalt.
Nope. Or Summit Dental.
Yeah, Summit Dental has a pretty similar logo. And then I seen what was it, Summit Lawn Professionals or something, or
I haven't seen that
Summit
yet.
Fences.
Summit Fences.
Yeah, it was a weird one, but
Okay.
that was in Medford.
We're pretty committed to the brand. I mean, I have the company logo tattooed on me, and so does Josh.
That's
so.
sick.
Yeah.
Pay me royalties, I'll do it too.
One of our guys, dude, you're like the third one of our employees to ask that. If I get the company logo tattooed, will you pay for it and pay me? Sure, why not? It's an advertisement for the rest of your life.
You know what? I love tattoos, so if you just pay for the tattoo, I'll do it.
I love tattoos too. Oh man,
Yeah, we'll
that's
think
funny.
about that.
So I'm curious about your time or something. It's been I don't even know. It's flown by so fast, like 2 or 3 months, right?
Yeah.
What do you?
I think we're a little bit past 3 months.
A little bit past 3 months. Do you? I guess. What are your plans? Do you plan on working here and staying around for a bit? Do you plan on starting your own thing again once you get back on your feet for business, or what's your goal?
I've realized that I don't necessarily want to start a business unless I have good partners, and I found the partners I wanted to work with, like ideally in the future here.
Mm-hmm.
So if I can, I'll stay here until you want to get rid of me. You know,
Yeah.
I would love it to be a lifelong career.
Yeah.
I would love to retire as somebody working for Summit.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like we talked about, like we'll have you around as long as you want to be here, and there really is no cap to what we're willing to pay you. If we're able to make enough money, we're able to pay you more. You know.
Yeah.
You might
And
be the most,
plus it's
eventually
just-
the most overpaid project manager for a lawn care business, pulling in 6 figures a year. But hey, you know what I mean. We appreciate you. So.
I mean, not necessarily.
I
I'm
don't mean
sure there's
overpaid, that
project
sounds rude.
managers that are working like for other companies like Grounds Guys. They're a huge conglomerate.
That's
for,
true,
like,
but they're also a
landscaping.
franchise.
Yeah, so I mean, that's where project managers make their money though, is they buy a section of the franchise and they branch off into their own town.
That's
But,
true, but then they're not necessarily a project manager anymore, right? They're the franchisee owner.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I have no clue how that all works, so don't quote me on that. And Grounds Guys, don't be mad at me.
Oh man, bringing up the competition.
I mean,
We're a ways away
there's
from keeping
there's
up
a
with
lot of
them, but-
notable competition in town, and a lot of them do really good work. So that's
Yeah.
where a lot of the challenges of being in Grants Pass really is because there's so many people that I've worked hand in hand with that I'm like, I just learned like 15 new things from you, and I've known you for a day. And so that's where I'm like, that's kind of scary. I don't want you anywhere near my accounts.
There's plenty of work to go around. Oh man.
What's been the most difficult thing in being a project manager for us?
I think the most difficult part was in the beginning and trying to get my foot in the door and figuring out who was who. Like
As far as clients or employees?
employees, we had a couple employees that just didn't work out. And I wanted one of them to really badly. And then the other one, I was like, you're just not going to be physically able to do the job.
Yeah.
And it's like, I didn't want to be that guy to point it out, and it's really hard anytime you have a group of guys that you're stepping into and they don't
You're
know
the new
me.
guy, yeah.
They didn't know me at all. And Ben's like, here, meet the guys at the shop. I won't be there. And I'm like,
That's right. I wasn't there your first day.
I was like, okay, so I'm just going to pull up to the shop and be like, hey, I'm your new boss.
I'm trying to think who we had.
Mark at the time. And
What was the other guy? Was it
Not
Aiden?
quite Aiden.
Yeah, I think Aiden started like the next week.
Okay, because you said 2 guys, and I was like, I only remember one. I don't remember what the other guy was. But yeah, it was Aiden. And Lucas had just left at that point, I think, right? Or CJ?
Yeah, it was CJ and Mark for a little bit.
Yeah, we've had a lot of it. We've had like over 10 or 12 different employees over the last 3 years. I was just looking at that the other day.
Yep.
Oh,
It's
no.
crazy, man.
But I mean, hopefully, like the turnover rate's not high because of the company. I think a lot of them kind of branched off and started doing bigger and better things for themselves.
Mark owns his own business now. He owns his own. I think it's called. I should remember what it's called, but yeah, good for him. I hope it does well. He's got his own lawn care business now.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I really hope his clients stick with him and he finds good clients like what we have.
Yeah, I think
He's out in Glendale, right?
Probably. I don't know.
I think Sunny Valley area or something like that. Yeah.
That's a whole
Yeah,
market for
something
him.
like that.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's because most people don't want to drive out there. So
Yeah.
if you're already there, you got an in. I'm curious. Something I love talking about is like money and people's financial
Future.
Thank you. What your plans are? What are your plans to retire? Do you have an age at which you plan on retiring? And do you have any goals, financial goals?
My financial planning is as far as like retirement or get rich or die trying. But needless to say, I haven't done anything. I've been looking into like Roth IRAs and stuff like that. And my sister was an accountant over in Alabama. So she was like, you really need to just open like a Roth IRA and start putting money in and planning for retirement. And I'm like, I'm barely skating by as it is. I'm making $19 an hour for a landscaping company. And I'm struggling to see the day-to-day. Rent is so high in Grants Pass, Oregon.
Dude,
it's
I
tough
pay
to talk about.
$2,500 a month.
And I have a
know how you
4-year-old kid at home, you know? Like, so
Yep.
he's expensive. And so... And his mom works too. She's such a hard worker, and my wife Monique. So she's been like my rock through it all. Even times when I couldn't work due to an injury or something, she's held it down for us.
I remember that you with a plastic grocery bag around your foot so you could take a shower.
Yeah, plastic grocery bag also happened during the winter, and so we went and got a Christmas tree with like her dad up in the mountains. I drove my old K5 Blazer up into the mountains on crutches.
Is it automatic?
Yeah, it is an
Okay.
automatic.
That thing's sweet, dude.
I love that truck.
Kind of going back, it's crazy. So, I never would have thought when I met you the first time. At that time, I didn't even own a business or even work in construction. Like
You
your
were a
wife,
baby.
I know, dude. Your wife. I think I must have been 16 because I think I just got my permit.
Yeah.
That was a while ago.
So what was that story? How did you guys initially meet?
Yeah, so your wife and I both worked at the movie theater together, Southgate Cinema.
Yeah.
That was the first job I've ever had. Like, I was still in high school working there. And honestly, dude, it was so much fun. But I think your wife played a role in getting me hired. I think she convinced the manager to hire me. Probably because they had a bunch of crappy employees before.
Yeah, the way she put it, I think she did like your initial interview with you.
Oh, she saw that blonde hair.
Dude, I did have colored hair at the time. I did. Yeah, that's super awkward.
The,
I had like
the
red
blonde
hair
Justin
or something.
Bieber flipping hair.
Yeah, it was a phase.
You were
for
so
sure.
cute. It was okay.
What was? I'm offended.
But yeah, and Monique was like, I got a personal assistant today. And I was just like, all right. And she was just like, his name's Ben. And I'm like, instantly the jealous drunk part of me was like,
No.
who's this Ben kid? Whatever. And she's
like,
talking about you all the time. And so I was like, at first I was like, all right, who's this Ben kid? And then I met you and I was just like, I see it. I see it. He's great.
That's so funny. Your wife has, I think they're posted on Facebook, but like two of them, like some very inspiring and very kind posts that she's made about me and like responded to. I think I made a post about that business that I was working for, and she said some very encouraging, meaningful things that I will always appreciate for the rest of my life.
And that's awesome, man.
So
I mean, you've been kind of a pillar in our lives, just popping out of nowhere. You know, like it was all of a sudden I heard about Ben with the cleaning service, and then I heard about Ben working at the movie theater, and I was just like, dang,
did you know it was the
really
same person?
get along. Yeah.
okay.
I was just like, they really get along. And then she started talking about Frank all the time, your dad. And she was just like, these are just a great family in the community, and they do so much good for the community around them. And I was just like, wow, that's awesome. And then you started Summit Construction, and I see all you guys' projects and stuff, and I'm like, wow. I'm like, came out the gate swinging, both of you. So I got to hand it to you.
Thank you.
Every
I
time I
appreciate
see a
that.
photo of some work, I'm like mind blown that a couple 22-year-old kids are out there showing these grown-ass men what's up.
Yeah.
I mean, you're working on that fireplace mantle, and yeah, that's been a bit of a nightmare project from what I understand. But each time you've made that thing, it looks gorgeous. So
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It's been a very interesting learning experience.
Yeah. On some projects, it's pretty surreal to see where we started and where it's at. I'm like, wow, we built that. That's crazy,
Yeah.
you know?
like some of the custom decking, I'm like, I want to get into that. And because now that we're doing landscape construction and stuff, I really feel like you guys building a custom deck up to our newly installed landscape is going to be wild to see.
I know that you're working on trying to buy a house. You hoping to make that happen next year or this year? Or what's your goal?
Taxes hit us pretty hard, and then we got some news this year that are kind of throwing a wrench in our plans. So like financial planning is kind of like pay off some debt, maybe rent a new house for now, but definitely want to get into owning our own home within the next 2-3 years for sure.
Yeah. Something that I've learned is like trying to live within your means and just making sure that you buy a house that works for you and it's not too much more than you can afford, because like I've learned that like people will buy houses and say their house is, you know what I mean, $2,600 a month, right? Just looking at Josh.
Man, that's super subtle.
Super specific. Like you almost at that point become like a slave to your job because you have to work a certain amount of hours to be able to get the money to afford that. So you want to make sure that you're not putting yourself in a position where now you have to work this much time and you have to give up this much of your time, because the reality is we're trading like time for money, right? And now like you know what I mean, like you're trading all this time in your life just to have this place to live. So I would encourage you just to make sure that you find a beautiful home that works for you, that's not, you know, out of your means to live, because I've made that mistake on multiple accounts and it sucks.
On the note of living within your means, there's definitely a car I need to trade in like ASAP. I'm like, wow, very impulsive buy. I'm definitely an impulsive person. If I see something I want, I'm like, I'm gonna work as hard as I can just to get that one thing.
Yeah.
And so we bought Monique this really awesome like a 2023 Santa Fe, and it's great, but we are spending $680 a month on her car. I'm like,
That's rough.
And didn't you just say it didn't start the other day?
it's had its little issues. I think that was user error.
We're not going to tell her that. I'm not going to tell her that.
Yeah,
That's
it
your
was the
problem.
car.
Yeah.
It was definitely the car. Yeah, sure. The battery light was blinking, but when we first got it, it had a bunch of recalls on it for sure. So we had
Were
to
they
take
electrical
it in.
recalls or?
Yes. So it makes me a little apprehensive on what's going on with the car, but I mean, that car, the backup camera's recalled, and when it goes out, the whole car freaks out. It like won't start if the backup camera's not showing video.
Did you buy it brand new in 2021?
No, we bought it with like 23,000 miles on it.
So it still has a warranty then, right? So
Oh yeah, it's under warranty.
Good deal.
But I want to get rid of it and get like a Suburban or, you know, a Yukon.
Hey, you gotta tell the podcast about this. Everyone listening about the story of buying your wife her dream car. That's so funny to me.
Buying my wife her dream car?
Uh-huh.
What do you mean by like
The Subaru?
The first car or the second car that she hated?
Yeah.
Okay. So
what happened to the first car and why you had to get a second car?
We got a 2016 not 2016 Subaru. It was a 2016 Toyota Corolla, and we loved that car. It was so fun to drive. It was
I remember the day she bought it. It was white. It was a sport model.
I bought that car. Don't let her fool you. I paid every payment on that car. It was $15,000. It was almost paid off, and then she was driving on the freeway and got rear-ended because the police were pulling people over during a high-speed chase.
Did she get rear-ended by a cop?
No, the lady that was behind her, she was pulled over, stopped. It was raining, and the lady behind her just didn't see everybody stopping and just plowed into the back of my wife on the freeway.
Jeez.
And I remember getting the phone call, and I just Alaska was like only like a year and a half at the time, and I just handed him to her brother and was like, I'm out, gotta go save money. And I made it there before the ambulances or half of the other backup cops made it there in my truck.
That's impressive.
And I was like, are you okay? What's going on? She's all apologizing about the car because I love the car too. And I was like, don't worry about it. I was like, we got insurance, like good insurance nonetheless. Like,
yep.
I was
Full
like,
coverage,
I see
baby.
a payday in your future. I was like, as long as you're okay, I'm all good.
Yep.
And then she told me she wanted a Subaru Crosstrek. And I was like, okay, you really want that car? You really want that car? So I pushed the insurance people to pay us out for the day after the wreck.
That's impressive.
That's
That's super impressive.
I was on the phone screaming at people, and I knew like the insurance agent and the adjuster. So I was like, you need to come look at this car today because I need a new vehicle for my wife. She has a kid. We both work. We have no time to be without a vehicle, or you're paying for a rental. And the insurance company was like, yeah, sure. Cut me a check. So I went over to Grass Bandits Toyota, and they gave me an okay deal on a Subaru Crosstrek because that's what she wanted. I brought it home, and within the first week, she decided she hated that car. And she told me, she's like, you should have brought me with you to try out the car. And it's funny because every time I've brought her with me to like a dealership to pick out a car, she'll like look at it. And she might sit in it, but she sends me on the test drive while she watches Alaska. And she's like, you drive it. You see if you like it. And I'm like, the Crosstrek was okay. I didn't like it by any means, but I was like, it's a car. You know, like, I don't care. If it's a grocery getter, it's a grocery getter. But I ended up hating that car as well.
The way that he explained it to me was like he went to the dealership and he was so excited. He like looked at a couple and he like picked out the Subaru that he thought it was like really cool, and he was so excited to bring home to his wife, and he brought it home and she was like, wow, this is so nice. And a week later she's like, can we get rid of this thing? It's a piece of crap.
That's exactly what happened.
That's pretty funny.
And like we kept it for a good 6 months, and then finally I was like, I am so tired of this Subaru. It was starting to have fuel issues, like it did nothing good. Like it did everything okay.
It is a Subaru.
it did everything okay, but it wasn't good for anything correctly. You know, the Crosstrek's one of those really small SUVs. So it's not like high enough to go four-wheeling. It doesn't have enough trunk space for work, and it's not fast enough to be like a sports sedan. So like all
it's like
those
useless in every category.
Yeah, so like any of those things, it just did none of them well. And I was like, yeah, sure, it's got a top safety rating and it's boring as. But so we just moved on from that and we bought the Santa Fe, which I test drove it, and I'm like, this thing's like a spaceship, man.
Well, it's turbo,
so
isn't
much
it?
fun. Yeah, it's a turbo V6 model. So it's quick, it's fast, and it's definitely a mom car. It has lots of room for all of her stuff, and she loves it. And I'm like, I do love it too, but we need that payment to shrink, whether it's refinancing or what. Just I need to plan better for the future, and that doesn't fit in it.
Yep.
Sorry, babe.
Speaking about the future, where do you want your position to be in like 2 years?
In 2 years, I want to be yelling at Ben for our fourth truck. That's what I want. I want a steady 2 trucks on route all week long, and another truck going to do cleanups and other projects or construction work. And I want to be yelling at Ben to buy me another truck.
Fair enough.
Good goal to have.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty respectable for 2 years.
Yeah,
I think
that's
it's
huge.
really possible considering the 300% growth rate we're looking at every month.
Yeah, I mean, dude, you're literally, where Josh and I were talking about this, you're literally signing on clients every single week.
Every day.
Yeah.
And it's almost every single day. Like, signed on a new client yesterday. The day before that was, I forgot her name because I talked to so many people in a week, but over there in the HOA, which I'm trying to weasel my way into. And she already told the owner of the HOA or whatever, the board member, or whoever she is, basically the president of the HOA, that I was in there, and she was so stoked to hear I was back working in the HOA.
That's
so
awesome.
We're incoming for that one.
Ben, I kind of have a question for you. It sort of worked out really good with Grass Bandit, where we kind of assumed the company. How do you see that working out more? Because I know you've talked about you kind of want to buy more lawn care companies and get their clients and equipment and stuff.
What do you mean? Like, how do I see it happening again, or what do you mean?
Yeah. Or like, do you foresee it happening as smoothly again?
Yeah, I do.
Or do you think we kind of got lucky with Jesse?
Well,
we're not keeping the owner of that one, by the way.
No, the next like lawn care business that we acquire or purchase will be it'll be a lot like it won't be the same because like we hired Jesse as a project manager. He basically runs the business. If we purchase another lawn care business, we'll be buying out the owner and he will be no longer. But like I would like to be maybe not purchase one by the end of the year, but be lined up to purchase one and like have the ball rolling for that to happen. So by next summer, like we got another crew and we got more trucks and like more people already employed, ready to go, and we already have a new route list. So.
And what's the advantage over just like buying equipment and hiring employees?
I mean, you can buy equipment and hire employees all day, but it's buying another company that has an established name and already has a route list, because leads are the biggest thing, right? I can go buy a new leaf blower anywhere. I can go hire somebody. Like you said, it's not that hard to get into, but it's really like having those established clientele and those established routes and route density, everyone's in the same spot, so that's huge. That's priceless.
Yeah.
So.
That definitely would be the quickest way to make more money.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is not buying out a company that's completely failing.
Yeah.
Because if they are, then obviously they did something wrong with the bidding, and you can't just like buy the company out and be like, oh, by the way, your bill's gonna cost you $200 more a month just because we're the ones doing it now, and we'll just end up losing them in the first place.
Yep, like we got to be super thorough, and like I want to see bank transactions, I want to see accounting, I want to see previous taxes, I want to see the net and the gross profit of the business and like their expenses and everything, and I want to be able to like meet the team, and if it doesn't work well, we're not going to do it.
Right.
But I think that is a quick way to expand.
Like
I would like to be. So, like, obviously, I don't want to get too personal because I know that this is Jesse's podcast, but my goal is to be retired at 30. That gives me about 6.5 years to make that happen. By the time I'm 30, I would like to be the biggest lawn care business in all of Josephine County.
That'd be sweet.
we can do that.
I know we can do that.
One thing I do know is like retiring at 30 seems so far-fetched to me, who's 28 years old. In 2 years, if I could retire, man, what would I do with my life? I'd be so freaking bored.
It's not like I'm not going to be retired
Yeah,
to the point where I'm going to,
explain it.
where I'm going to be at home. I just more so mean like retired from the day to day. I'm not going to have to go into work every single day to go to work, right? Like we talk about, I feel like it seems like every episode that I feel like God's will in my life is to be a blessing and serve other people, and like to do that financially, to just help people out, right? So like I want to be able to be retired from construction, because like at this point you basically run the lawn care business, right? At this, like I want Josh and I to be able to step away from the day to day in construction and have salesmen and production managers in both businesses. So that I can take the time away from the business to, one, be with my family and grow with them and watch them grow, but to two, to be able to spend more time out in the community and building the community. I want to be able to make a profitable salary from construction with less effort, or not less effort, but like less connected to the business and not having to be there for the day to day, so that I have the freedom to pour into other ventures and to pour into people's lives and to pour into the community. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it's not like I'm going to hit 30.
It makes a whole lot of sense, especially since you got a Whaley on your crew.
Yeah, we do have a Whaley, an Elijah Whaley. He's pretty much good at anything he does. He's a unicorn. We'll have to get him
Every
on the
time I
podcast.
work with that kid, I'm like, dude, you could have had my job if you just decided you wanted it. He makes me nervous because I'm like, man, you're what, like 20 years old?
We got to keep you on your toes, Jesse.
I'm like, you're 20 years old. I'm like, you're younger. You're a little bit faster than me. If you had my knowledge, done. But and where it comes in strong is like he's not necessarily wanting to be that leadership position as much. I don't know how he is on construction though. I can't speak for that.
I think he's with lawn care. He's just a little tired of it because I think he worked in lawn care for like 3 years, and he's just kind of done with it.
I mean, it can where you
high
are.
school.
Yeah. I mean, because the burnout comes quick in lawn care. That's another thing that didn't help me with like Grass Bandits is I started getting burnt out. I was in a position where I got to the point to where I was supplementing my income pretty well. I was able to put away a little bit of money, but I couldn't take on any more bids because I couldn't make the time to go bid somebody else because I was so busy being on route almost 7 days a week. Man. And so like clients got neglected. I didn't do a good enough job at some of them. Some of them were dropping me, and I was just getting spread way too thin. And if I got to the point to where I was hiring on a part-time guy, it could have worked out a little bit better, but I just didn't see a world in which that was possible at the moment. And plus, I was spending too much money on alcohol. So
The biggest way out of that is, or I should say the best way out of that is hiring somebody, is getting an employee or getting a production manager. I was just talking to another contractor about this today, where he feels like his growth is stunted and he's stuck in one position and he can't bid more jobs and he can't be on the job site because the minute he leaves, productivity drops, right? And so he doesn't know what to do other than to hire a production manager. I said at the end of the day, that just is what it is. You just have to hire somebody that can replace your position on the job site so you can bid other jobs and bring in work. Like, you know, it's better for Josh and I because there's two of us, right? We can split responsibilities. I can bid projects while he's managing everything. But I have a lot of respect to business owners that do everything themselves. You know what I mean? Like that's a hard job. You know what I mean?
So, it was tough, man.
Absolutely.
And like, at some point, you gotta fight the burnout because like, there was times where it's like 38 degrees outside, it's raining. I'm looking out the window and I'm like, you know, I'm the owner of this company and I need to go mow this lawn. And I don't feel like doing that. And it took everything in me to go and do it. But it's like, am I going to take on more clients so I can deal with that? And then it's like, how am I going to do all of this on my own and hire somebody? And I was just like, I can't really keep track of all of this all at once. So like when you came to me for help, I was like, cool. I'm like, the responsibility, but there's also structure here that you are already in place because you're a little bit smarter than me when it comes to running a business.
There's just two of us.
Yeah, I guess you guys had a good team. That's what I was saying is like if I was going to redo Grass Bandits, I would have done it with a teammate, somebody that could hold me accountable and also come in with those new and fresh ideas.
Mm-hmm. I'm curious your perspective of what it was like the first time I reached out to you and asked you to be a part of our team. Where were you at in your life, and how did that feel, getting that message?
I was in. Well, first off, you called me and asked me if I wanted to take your clients. You didn't ask me if I wanted to come work for you, and I was like thinking about taxes and my income, and noticing that halfway through winter I had spent all of my savings for taxes, and I was like, I'm screwed. First of all, second of all, I was like, I had a part-time job at the local mill that I hated. Well, it was a full-time job that I called my part-time job because I was still working 80, 90 hours a week. And then I was like, you know, I don't know if I'm going to move away. What's going on? What are the plans? So I'm thinking of career changes because I didn't know what was going to work out for me. And then you called me and I was just like, you know what, Ben? I don't want to take your clients. I want to bring mine with me. And you were like, yeah, that could work. And I was just like, all right, let's sit down. Let's talk about it.
Yep.
And we sat down, we talked about it. I met some of your crew. I met Josh for the first time, and I met your dad, re-met him. I knew him before, but I didn't know him well. And I sat down, and I instantly felt like, okay, these guys are my people. And these guys are the people I want to surround myself with because I'm tired of being underestimated, and you never did that to me. Like the entire time I've worked with you guys never underestimated my ability and always encouraged me to go further. So that made all the difference. It was like I was always constantly used to being underestimated and not treated fairly. And so like walking into the room and being respected as such was a total game changer and made me want to work 3 times harder.
I want to sit on that for a second because from our perspective, we were literally like a week away from shutting down the lawn care company. We were like literally.
We were
like,
gonna collapse it.
Yeah, we were. Yeah, it was just. So I want to tell you that I appreciate how much of a blessing you've been to the lawn care company, and I'm very, very excited for it to explode. And I think it's going to this summer.
It's going to.
Yeah.
I can't reiterate it enough. That's not cockiness or anything. It was like between the joint effort and everything that's going on, and I can just see how everything works. And like you said, you needed to hire a project manager or somebody that can run the show when you're not on the job site. I effectively hired 2. so it's like these are 2 guys that I can send to any job. Shout out to Mitchell and Nathan, by the way, if they see this. I want to know that you guys just kill it.
And
anytime.
Kimchi.
Yeah,
He's getting
Kimchi
there.
does
He's
a
getting
great
there.
job too. He's getting there. He's learning. Kimchi,
Dude's got the coolest haircut I've ever seen. I'm so envious of his haircut every time I see it. It's sweet.
like the 50s greaser curl.
He
on
looks
the
like
front.
the Punisher.
Yeah.
It's pretty sweet, bro.
He looks snazzy.
I hope he listens to this and hears how much we're just talking about his hair.
But no, I like between Nathan Mitchell and Kimchi, they're just a solid group of 3 guys that can do the work, and I don't have to be on route. I mean, this last week was Mitchell's first week, and I was like feeling, boss guilt. Moms talk about mom guilt, not being able to be with their children at all.
I've
and
never
I
heard
feel
of
like
Boss guilt.
I've never heard that. That's funny.
mom guilt, and it's like them not being able to like be on the job site with their crew. I'm like so used to running the show when it comes to working and stuff, and being like on site telling everybody what to do. I'm like, yeah, here's a paper route sheet, Mitchell, good luck. And he ran with it, and I'm like, yes, thank God.
It was for me, I know I sometimes I have a hard time teaching people things. So like with me and Eli Whaley, there was like almost a slow transition of, all right, dude, I just got to do this. Watch me, to, all right, here you go, figure it out, and you can totally do this.
Mhm.
And man, was it scary.
Having confidence in your guys is just a total game changer, because
Absolutely.
when you can send somebody out to a job site and the job's going to be done right. And that's the one thing is like I've already trained Nathan for a previous company that we both worked for. So he was in my truck every day for like a year. And so we worked hand in hand, arm in arm on almost every job that I did that year. So I knew he could handle the responsibility. And if I handed him an address and was like, this is what you need to do, it was going to get done to the best ability that I could do.
Yeah.
And then Mitchell basically taught me half of everything I knew about lawn care. And then Hunter also taught me the other half. So like, I know Mitchell, when it comes down to it, like it's hard to stack myself up against that guy to do the job, because I'm like, normally I'm pretty cocky. I'll outwork anybody, but him, it's a little bit hard.
Dude, Mitchell is integrated with the team so well.
Yeah,
So quickly, too.
Kimchi
Yeah.
and Mitchell are hanging out after work.
I know.
And it's
After
that's
like the
great.
first day together, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a little worried about that because
We gotta bring him to the
strong
bonfire Sunday.
personalities.
Yeah.
I need to show up to a bonfire Sunday.
I don't know
I'm
what
sorry.
you'd be
You
slacking.
need to show up at a bonfire.
I was there last week for 20 minutes. I was like 45.
Yeah, and I called you. You know why I wasn't there.
That's right. That's right. I do remember that. So I'm kind of curious, getting close to wrapping things up. If there's someone else out there listening, going through just the struggles of life and dealing with alcohol and everything, what is something that you would say to them to kind of pull them out of that, or to encourage them?
Or what pulled you out of it?
Yeah.
Well, first of all, for me, it was like my main movement was like my wife looked at me and she's like, I'm done with you if you don't figure this out. And I love my wife more than anything. And also, we have a beautiful kid together. But one thing I can say that really stuck with me is old head told me, he's like, I never had a night where I was sober that I regretted. And every single time I regret something I did, alcohol was the common denominator in every single thing that happened. I was just like, you know what? I cannot remember a lot of regretful nights, but I can, like, the only time I knew that I messed up was like my wife was like, give me that look, And I'm like, what'd I say? And I'm like, every single time I've had a night that's sober, I never had a moment where I woke up the next day and was just like, God, that was so stupid. I should have never done that sober. So, I mean, that's just the end of it. And it's like, afterwards, I just realized, don't drink. It's better. It's a lot more funner being able to remember everything that you did the night before. Yeah. And I actually enjoy just the smallest of things now. It's like, I love my coffee way more because I don't drink energy drinks or sodas, and I'm not like eating a bunch of carbs anymore or eating crappily. I wake up feeling awesome. I feel young again. I always thought I was like a 40-year-old man stuck in like a 28-year-old's body with the age of a 40-year-old man body, Like I always felt more sore, just more tired, just drained all the time. And now I'm like trying to keep up with you young bucks. And I'm like, wow, I can actually still do this. I'm not aging myself as much, you know?
Yeah. Is there anything you want to say, Josh, before we wrap it up here? We got a few minutes left.
Just kind of reiterating the seriousness of, like, when you stepped in, I was amazed that you're bringing over like 10 clients. And I was
You brought
like,
over
oh
more
my
clients
gosh,
than we
dude.
had.
Like we were running 3 clients, I think.
Yeah, and one wasn't paying.
Yeah,
It was my dad.
Yeah.
Honestly, if you hit me up last summer, I probably would have brought like 20 with me. So we would have been where we are now. Just they would have all been a lot less happy at the time because one guy cannot keep up with 20 clients that well, especially with some of them being large clients.
Yeah. I've never been to some of the clients' house, but I've heard we got some pretty big properties.
Yeah, some of them are pretty large, and unfortunately, some of them don't pay enough for how large they are. But that was another problem I had with Grass Bandits, was constantly giving somebody a deal because I want to help something out.
Is there anything else you want to say before we wrap it up?
Yeah, it's been a pleasure working with you guys lately. I just want to give a shout out to you guys and taking care of me and just treating my family and everybody around me with the most respect, and how I never had a point in time where I was just like, that was a little disrespectful. No, I haven't had that moment. And Ben, you need to quit being so hard on yourself. I think a couple episodes ago you were talking about ego, and you were like, oh, do you have an ego? And these guys were kind of picking on you a little bit.
Yep.
I was just like, if anything, Ben can be a little self-conscious. Like, there's a lot of times where I really feel like you're like, oh, you think I'm stupid. And I'm like, no, bro, I don't. So just keep your chin up and quit being so damn hard on yourself, because everybody around here that works with you knows that you think the worst of yourself than anybody else thinks of you.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
And Josh, don't be a stranger.
I know sometimes it gets a little distant, I guess, because you're en route, you're talking to clients, and I'm stuck on a job site or whatever.
Yeah. I won't see you for like a week, but I'm at your house every
I know.
single day. And then when you're there, you're working on like a fireplace mantle or something in your building in your backyard. And I'm like, what's up, bro? I'm dropping off the equipment. I'm ready to go home. I've been at this for 9 hours today. Let's go.
Yep. Anything you want to say, Josh?
Nope.
Well, before we end it, Jesse, I'll just say, to kind of tie into what Josh said earlier, you talk about how much you appreciate us, but the reality is we appreciate you so much, and like you are a blessing. Like you were definitely an answered prayer for us, and we were at a point where we talked about multiple times collapsing the business, and it's not something I wanted to do, but you have helped us a lot, and since you've been here, you've almost quadrupled the income of the lawn care business, and we get compliments about you all the time. You're signing on clients almost every single day. Like your closing rate is very impressive. You're a very kind person, and you're very kind to us, and you're kind to the guys. You work very hard, and you do a lot for us, and you sacrifice, and we really appreciate that. You're a good friend. You mean a lot to us, and we love you, dude.
You're going to get me good over here. Don't make me cry on camera, okay? I'm an ugly crier.
All that to say, we love you, and we care about you and your family, and we appreciate you, and we hope you stick around for a while.
Always.
Definitely.
So.
And this ain't shutting down on my watch.
Good deal.
Do you know the closing statement?
No.
Okay, that's right.
I don't remember it.
Ben, do you know the closing statement?
Yes, I do. The world is full of nice people. If you can't find one, be one.